Good, happy Monday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to Good Evening, New Hampshire. Let's get started. First up, driver dies after police pursuit in Henniker. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
At age 25 from a heroin addiction. Our whole family brought us to our knees when we lost him. What I would like my question...
Authorities say this is the result of an SUV driving at speeds of more than 100 miles per hour through several towns Sunday night. Police say it started about 6 p.m. in Stoddard when a state trooper saw a blue Toyota RAV4 speeding eastward.
The trooper turned around, tried to catch up to the vehicle to stop it, but the vehicle was traveling so fast that it got out of his sight really quickly. So he radioed ahead. The Hillsborough Police Department subsequently saw the vehicle on Route 9-202.
A Hillsborough officer pursued the vehicle for a short time, trying to get the driver to pull over, but eventually broke off the chase because of the speed. Authorities say it wasn't long before calls began coming in about a crash.
Apparently the operator of the SUV had lost control of the vehicle and struck I believe 3 other vehicles in the process.
Police say the driver of the SUV was ejected and pronounced dead at the scene. The drivers and passengers in the other vehicles were not seriously hurt. Police say their investigation will continue.
We had no idea at this point why this operator was traveling at the rate of speed that he was for so long. There was no pursuit going on initially as to his high speed. He didn't yield to any blue lights at all. He kept driving at that high rate of speed.
State police say the other individuals who were struck by the SUV are very lucky that they weren't more seriously hurt. Reporting live, I'm Andy Hirschberger, WMUR.
Okay, and there you go on that report. New Hampshire high school students among 5 killed in crash on I-89. Let's take a listen to this report on WMUR News 9.
Priority is not the safety and welfare of the patients at New Hampshire Hospital. For months, we've tried to warn her that they didn't have adequate staffing. Maggie Hassan puts politics over people.
Well, Josh and Jean, court documents in Vermont indicate that the driver of the truck that struck and killed these teens is now under investigation for murder. One of the teens who died has been identified as 15-year-old Janie Cozy, a sophomore at Kimball Union Academy in Meriden here in New Hampshire. She had apparently gone home to Vermont for the holiday weekend. Cozy and 4 of her friends were in a car headed southbound on I-89 in Williston when they were struck by a pickup going the wrong way on the highway. Police say the driver of the truck then stole a police cruiser of an officer who had arrived on scene and was trying to pull the teens from their burning vehicle. He caused a series of crashes before being captured and is now in critical condition. At Kimball Union, Janie Cozy's soccer coach says she was one of a kind.
Oh, such a great kid. There are 26 girls on our soccer team and 2 coaches, and she's just beloved by everybody. Smiling all the time, hardworking, fun to be around, team-oriented, just a wonderful kid. We are devastated.
Administrators say students are returning to Kimball Union from the holiday weekend tonight and tomorrow. It's a small school of only a few hundred students, and they'll be taking time out of classes tomorrow to talk about what happened and to remember Janie. In the newsroom, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Most GOP candidates in New Hampshire continue support for Trump. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
Safety and welfare of the patients at New Hampshire Hospital. For months, we've tried to warn her that they didn't have adequate staffing. Maggie Hassan puts politics over people.
We're here
today because Chris Sununu's support for Donald Trump raises alarming questions about his judgment and his fitness to serve as governor.
Pressure from across the aisle Monday for New Hampshire Republicans to take a stand against Donald Trump in the wake of the Republican nominee's 2005 comments about groping women, made while his mic was open during a taping of an entertainment show.
So you've endorsed Trump and you stand by your endorsement of Trump?
Yeah, I do stand by my support. When that video came out last week, I said immediately how disgusting and repugnant comments like that are. I'm focusing my race on what the people of New Hampshire needs are.
Candidate for Congress Jim Lawrence says he too is revolted by Trump's language, but thinks it's a distraction from real national issues.
So you can't stand what he said, but do you still endorse him?
Well, I've said this time and time again. I'm running a campaign for Congress in CD2 in New Hampshire. I'm not on the Trump campaign. I'm going to let Donald Trump deal with the issues of the statements that he makes.
Lawrence says he's never publicly endorsed Trump, but told News 9 he will stand with him.
I don't support the statement that he made. I can tell you this, I certainly don't support Hillary Clinton.
Congressman Frank Ginta is running to keep his seat back in the first CD. He endorsed Donald Trump in May and still supports him. Ginta denounces Trump's language on the tape, but says the Clinton alternative is unacceptable.
Well, I think both candidates, unfortunately, fall short in terms of the role model perspective. And I think most Americans feel that. I think most Americans are disappointed with the choices that they have. But at some point, you look at the two choices and you have a binary choice and you have to make that decision.
A growing list of Republican senators, governors, and U.S. reps reveal more than 36 have rescinded their support of Trump since that scandal broke on Friday. Many, including Senator Ayotte, indicated they will write in vice presidential candidate Mike Pence instead. Live in the studio this evening, Amy Covino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. If elected, Trump may not be able to fulfill big duties promised. Federal law may prevent Donald Trump, if elected, for fulfilling a big promise he made at last night's debate, according to a former U.S. Justice Department chief from both political parties. But former Attorney General under Republican and Democrat administration said presidents don't get to decide on the appointment of a special prosecutor. Traders watching these clues for a market breakout. In the limbo ahead of the week's big events, traders will watch oil prices and S&P 500 price action Tuesday as signals on further gains. U.S. death toll from Matthews climbs to 21 as rescuers save stranded people. Matthews' worth is finally over, but its devastation keeps growing and rescue crews stayed busy. The U.S. death toll climbed to 21 on Monday, with North Carolina reporting 11 deaths, Florida reporting 4, and 3 each in South Carolina and Georgia. Now let's take a look at your weather. Let's take a look at live look on radar right now. Here's a live look on radar right now. As you see on radar, it's all clear in New Hampshire for this evening. Now let's take a look at your weather on our weather system. Your weather on our weather system. Your wind speed peak is 9 miles per hour. Average is 3. Current is 2 from southwest. Your temperature is 46 degrees. Your humidity is 63%. Your dew point is 34 degrees. Your forecast is partly cloudy, and your pressure is 30.03. Now let's take a look at some alerts we have for you for this evening. We have 10 alerts for you this evening. Let's take a look at them. Belknap, New Hampshire, frost advisory. Carroll, New Hampshire, freeze warning and frost advisory. Chester, New Hampshire, freeze warning. Grafton, New Hampshire, freeze warning. Hillsborough, New Hampshire, frost advisory. Merrimack, New Hampshire, frost advisory. Rockingham, New Hampshire, frost advisory. Stratford, New Hampshire, frost advisory. And Sullivan, New Hampshire, freeze warning. Now let's take a look at your next 7-day forecast. Here's a look at your next 7-day forecast. And now let's take a look at your traffic. Here's a look at your traffic right now. As we see, we are seeing a lot of green roadways, and we have a few yellow areas and a few red areas. Otherwise, your traffic is moving pretty good on your Monday evening. And that is it for Good Evening New Hampshire right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning for Good Morning New Hampshire. Have a great night, everyone. Goodbye.